Yes, those who are watching, I'm talking to a clinical psychology candidate who we have
Yes.
been hearing people don't get selected in clinical. I'm sitting with one here. Yeah. After
First
how
time.
many rejection? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejection.
Yes.
Oh, 8 in UCT.
Yes.
Jesus. Oh, out of 10 applications, then
Yeah.
you made it into the clinical program.
Yes, and I am a first-time applicant. That is very important.
Wow, wow, wow. We need to mention that because there are people who believe you can't be accepted when you're a first-time
Yes.
applicant. Say
Yes.
something about that because such that people who trouble us, as we are first-time applicants, but Rema, all crock in the game. That's many years ago. Maybe it doesn't happen anymore. Maybe these people who come to my channel tell me that they're first, like both Hero,
Yes.
they're just cooking information. Can you
No.
just something about that? First time applicants. We need to raise the first time applicant generation. I'll start to
Yes,
put the
please.
criteria. Unless you're the first time, I don't interview. Please say something about that. I think I
Ah,
want people to hear that.
Dr. Z. Yes, I'm a first-time applicant. It was my first time
Wow.
applying this year. I did my honors last year. I
Yeah.
went through the some of the forms that were available online, and I decided I'm not ready for some reason. I just didn't want it to interfere with my honors studies, so I didn't apply. Then I applied this year, and I gave it my all. Dr. T, I did my best. I used the help that I had available, and here we are. It
Wow. Friends, let me welcome you. I'm so excited. We've got the friends of the show here, the friends of the channel. I don't even need to introduce her, but maybe just for formalities. So, Ngshabo, welcome. And I don't even want to say for those who don't know you, but maybe just intro for those who might not know you, are newer, probably to the channel. Just a brief intro, who's Ngshabo, and then we get to the business.
Thank you, Dr. T. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Sinshabo. I know the spelling is not going to correspond with what I'm saying, but leave the spelling. My name is Sinshabo, and I am an aspiring psychologist.
Still aspiring.
I, I feel like I have owned that
Wow.
title for a very long time. It has become part of my identity, you know.
Wow, 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 wow. Yes, congrats for being selected. And I mean, with you, you've been here before.
Yes.
And I'm not going to even go to the background. People can go to we did a video, me and you, eh? And I think on the video, I can't even recall. I think we did two. You interviewed me and I've interviewed you before. But I think that is after you did the book. So people can see that for background.
Mm.
But let's get to the core of this interview because I think I'm excited that you are selected because I get excited when people I speak to get excited selected.
Mm.
But I think with you, it's a bit unique in a sense that you started a channel on TikTok and later I think you started with the YouTube
Yeah.
and you must share those links for people to visit them. And you were doing, you were providing information about being selected into the program, psychology masters, helping students, but you were still also pursuing to be selected into the program. And that's why I wanted to start because I wanted to understand what led to that. For you to think one day that I'm starting a channel even though I'm not selected. What informed that and what was the thinking around that?
I think it was two reasons, Dr. T, and it was not even mainly about psychology. Okay, so the first reason would have been I have a bone to pick with how I grew up and the environment that I grew up in. I feel that um, there are certain decisions that I made because of lack of information, due to lack of information. So I feel like had I been empowered with the information, I would have made better decisions, you know. So
Mm,
that
mm,
was one of the reasons why I decided to start sharing the little that I knew, you know. And
mm,
also then when I started playing around with the idea of becoming a psychologist, and then I realized that there isn't much information, there isn't much
mm,
accessible information rather, then that also fueled that the lack of information is going to lead to people making uninformed decisions. And I have a very toxic relationship with information. Just the lack
uh,
of it is a very big problem for me. So I thought,
mm,
let me form part of the people that are going to contribute into building this body of information that is then going to enable others to be able to make informed decisions. And
mm,
then the second reason, this was very intentional and very personal. I've always, Dr. T, I think I have, not think, I know. I struggled with a low self-esteem growing up. I
mm,
struggled with
mm,
confidence so
mm.
much. So
Well, you
having
don't
no,
show.
I know. Because I've worked on it, right? And this is
Wow,
what I'm
wow.
trying. Yeah, this is what I'm about to tell you. When I realized that as a psychologist, I'm going to need to be very confident. I'm going to need to believe in myself so much. I knew
Mm,
that I had to start working on that. So that's
mm,
when now social media came in. Putting myself out there was also a very intentional step towards
mm,
building the confidence. If you go through my TikTok videos, my TikTok
mm.
is not very old. I think the oldest video is from 2024. If you
Yeah.
watch that first video and you watch a video that I made yesterday, you will
Mm,
be able to see the difference. You'll be able to
mm,
see how I've become very confident in how I present myself, how I've become more articulate, how I've become more confident in what I say, you know, and
mm.
that was very intentional. So I've always been very passionate about sharing information, but sharing it on social media was for the fact that that is the world that we live in now, but it was also to build myself, to develop myself, and that's why
Mm.
we had the TikTok channel.
Okay. And yes, because I think when I look at the genesis of your channel, which was the YouTube in particular,
Yes.
it started as something else. I think you wanted to focus on military wives or military background and
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
But then how did it come to be psychology focused, particularly when you went to TikTok? And given that, because I will think, and I'm just speaking just as a normal person, I mean, I will be in my own cocoon and say, you know what, let me get selected before I make noise here and I don't get
Yeah.
selected. Because already I'm hearing, Dr. T speaking, it's challenging, it's difficult, people are getting rejected. I would want to get accepted first and come and talk. What gave you, for a person who struggled with confidence, to come and say, I'm just gonna hit it on selection, even though I'm not selected?
I
I
think
think that's
that
the
is
fascinating part for me. And that's why I can't leave
yes.
that part.
You've always been very interested in that. I think, Dr. T, when I look at my life, I think my purpose is in inspiring and motivating others
Mm,
to become the best of themselves. And me being on the journey to becoming a psychologist, that's why I said the word competitors. I'm
mm,
interested in how you phrased that statement because I've never seen
yeah,
it as that. I've just
yeah,
always seen people as people that I can inspire with my story.
mm,
There is someone out there who is going to have to get strength from listening to my story. So it really moved away from these people. We are chasing the same goal. So let me rather first achieve it, then I can come and pour
mm,
back into. But I think it was more of I know there is someone out there who is walking the same journey as me, and they could really use some form of motivation. They could really use to just to be exposed to the fact that they are not walking alone. Even
yeah.
though I might not get to see them, but they will get to see me. And I believe that that would somehow contribute positively to their story. I think that has always been the driving factor. The fact that I can just impact someone, Dr. T. Even if
Mm,
I don't get feedback, I've always believed that as long as my video has a few people who have watched it, I am positive that someone definitely gained something from that video. And that is all it's about. Just
mm,
me being able to inspire and to motivate. That is what drove it. That's why
mm,
I was even able to share motivational stuff, even on the military wife side of things. I think it has just been always motivate, inspire, use your story to impact someone else, you
mm,
know?
mm,
And
mm,
then
mm.
now my story just happened to be about psychology.
Yes, yes. And it happened
Yes.
to be a successful story at
Yes.
the end. But then tell me, because I
Mhm.
was so curious, when you were doing videos, and I want to take you through now the preparation for the selection in particular, because I think that's when you were also very active in preparing them. You had my book, you were sharing it. Was there never a moment where you are like, "Ish, I must not give too much now. Those people I'm competing with will be ahead of me or will prepare in this area more than And I was just wondering, when you were going for the selection, did you find your followers, maybe some recognize you, ah, Chabo, like, because I'm just thinking, I mean, if I'm in the room with all my audience now, they already know what I'm thinking. When those moments, what was happening? Because I was just thinking about you. I think if I to add into prayer, you'll be the first on my prayer. God, whoever you select, make sure you don't miss this one.
No, that's actually very interesting. You know, it is interesting, Dr. G, that you see it like that. And I
Yeah.
really struggled to find why I never looked at it like that. I was never worried, Dr. T. Like honestly, I was just
Mm,
like, for me, it became a community of people who are on the same journey, who are
yeah.
experiencing the same challenges. So I feel like I took the responsibility to hold everyone's hands and say, let's
Mm,
work together. Whoever goes in first, we are happy for them. And we know
mm.
that that is confirmation that we will also get in. So I never really saw competitors. I just saw a whole community of people that are
Wow.
just carrying each other through the same journey. That's why I said, even when I was reading the questions, I was just like, "Oh, that's actually quite interesting because it never crossed my mind that
Wow.
I'm actually helping people who are probably going to make it and I don't. I never really
Mm,
thought about that. Maybe, Dr. T, had I not made it, I would have sat down and I'm like, someone probably made it because of the information that I shared. It's
mm,
possible. But
mm,
right now, it never really crossed my mind. I don't know. I feel
mm,
like I never knew, Dr. T, that I was going
mm,
to make it, right?
mm,
However, I feel that I wanted some of us to make it.
mm,
So that was good enough for me. That's why I'm saying maybe had I not made it, those thoughts would have come.
mm,
But until then, it never crossed my mind that we were competitors. I just thought
mm.
we're all on the same journey. We all know
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to accommodate everyone. So
Mm,
whoever they accommodate this year is good enough. That was my thinking. And
yeah.
then when I went for selection, funny
Yeah.
enough, Dr. T, I don't know if I'm just ignorant or I'm
Yeah.
naive, right?
Yeah.
But it never crossed my mind that I am probably going to come across people who have come across me before on social media.
Yeah.
So it was firstly the people who were actually so the team for the university, one of the members of the team actually came with the M1s to assist her. And one
Mm.
of the M1s was like, I know you from somewhere.
Like me, you know me. I look like somebody else.
No, no, no. So that now also I think made everyone feel comfortable. So when we went on breaks, people were like, you're on TikTok. I said, yes, I am. It
Yeah.
is me. You don't have to say anything, but it's me.
Wow.
That
Wow.
this you see the way I'm reacting is the same way I reacted there because I'm like, feel like even if you guys recognized me, you didn't have to say because it's not necessary, you know? But I
Wow.
really was oblivious to the fact that I might come across people that actually know me. I think that's my approach with social media, Dr. T. I don't really care about the people that are watching, but I
Mm,
do appreciate those that I can impact. That's what I'm saying. I know it probably even sounds like I'm a perfect human being, but I'm
mm,
not. It's just that I don't take social media the way other people do. It's just that
mm,
for us, it's the only place we can share information right now. So that's the only reason why I utilize it. I feel like under normal circumstances, I wouldn't use social media. So
yeah.
I don't really worry about the person on the other side of the screen. Sometimes even when they ask questions, I'm like, why do you guys think I have all these answers? Like,
Mm, mm,
you know,
mm,
it becomes overwhelming because for me, I feel like I'm just giving you what I know and I hope that helps. But when
mm,
you actually get to see how many people actually rely on that story, that little story that you're sharing, then I'm
mm,
just like, I am making an impact. I think I ignore that altogether
mm,
because
mm,
it's overwhelming at sometimes, and I'm just like, just watch what I give you and let's move on. Let's get into the next
mm,
video. But you find there's so many comments that actually require my attention. And I'm
mm.
just like,
Wow.
no.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really overwhelming. It was really overwhelming.
Mm.
And I was just like, just keep quiet. No one needs to
Yeah.
know, you know, no one needs to know. But yeah.
Look, I must say, I mean, it took a lot of courage and I think boldness as well to do that because I don't think everybody will do it. Really, you must be special to have done that. I don't know how you pulled it, and I'm just happy you are selected. That's the most important part. I think, gives even more credibility to what you were teaching them or sharing with them. And I think, and I hope you don't lose the channel or stop sharing on TikTok and YouTube after being selected. I know it's going to be very difficult, but hopefully you can find time once a month, once a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I usually tell people we fight to get into masters. You get there, you wonder what have I got myself into. And I shared actually a TikTok this week. Somebody sent me a message, an Instagram actually, asking me to do videos to support those in the program, because it gets so horrible. By the time they go to the internship, they are really, some of them are shattered by the program, by the lecturers. And I think I will be doing most of that content, I think, moving forward as well, because it's really a big issue. So yeah, no, no, I'm glad, and then I'm going to revisit what you said at some point because I think there's more to it. But I want to get into this now. So you applied to two things I'm interested. How many universities did you apply to, and what program did you apply to?
I applied to 10 universities. I
Hmm.
applied for clinical in all
Wow.
of them.
Wow. I
Yes.
never thought. Sure. Okay. Well, I wouldn't go through all the 10, but of the 10, how many never responded? Because I know there are
Um,
others probably who never respond.
yeah, it's quite interesting to see how you see these things, eh?
Yeah.
They never responded. For
Yeah.
me, it's not a never responded, but it's
Mm.
universities that stated that they are going to be done on this day. So if you don't hear from them from this particular day, you must consider your application unsuccessful. So the ones that did that, I actually called and I asked, "Are you
Mm.
guys done with the
Shortlisting.
shortlisting?" And they said yes. So you see, for me, it's not never responded. I actually
Ah,
got the feedback, yes, but
ah,
yeah,
okay.
but
So it's just an admin part. They don't want to burden
yes.
themselves with having to respond to.
Yes,
Okay.
they do state the date. SMU, for example, did say by the 17th, everyone should have, we should be done. So if you didn't receive anything, consider your application unsuccessful. You see?
Yeah.
So on that day, I called, I made a phone call, I asked, "Are you done?" And she said, yes. The people who were invited already received their email. So if you didn't receive anything, it means you were not selected. And I said, okay, you see. So I
Okay.
had that feedback, yes. And then so the ones who didn't send the rejection emails were two. It was the University of
SMU.
Limpopo and
Okay.
SMU. Yes.
Oh,
University of Limpopo, we wrote a selection test, I think all of us. And then they also did send an email. Someone asked, and then they sent an email and they said by Friday or by the 10th or something, we will have sent out our emails. So if that day goes by, and you didn't get anything, then you know you were not successful. So those
okay.
two didn't send rejection emails, and then the other five did, and then the other two are the ones I got shortlisted. So we are all still waiting for UKZN, which will be the 10th university for me.
So which five rejected you?
University of Free State, VETS, Rhodes, UWC,
Yeah.
and UJ.
Okay. So, and which ones invited you?
UCT and NWU.
NWU. So you only got invites from two,
Yes.
6, 7, 8, 9. And then UKZN, you still haven't got a feedback.
Yes, they're not done shortlisting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, very interesting. It's tough, eh?
It's
10,
very tough.
only two
Yeah.
invites.
Yes, Dr. T.
Wow. And from an expert in the field in assisting students.
Imagine.
Imagine,
Yeah.
Jesus, the devil is a liar.
Devil is a liar. Not with me.
Ah,
Ah,
so tell me now, because I think, and this is where also because I remember you used to send me the letters or send me a message, I didn't make it here, I didn't make it here, I didn't make it here. At that point then, because you are still on TikTok, is
yes.
the peak of the selection now. Everybody's anxious, everybody's asking questions. What was going on in your mind at that point? And how was then the psychological effects now of running a channel at the same time?
Yo, Dr. T, it's actually even making me emotional because
Yeah,
I feel like I think I've spoken about this before in one of the videos I made. I had been so positive and hopeful. I
yeah.
had also been aware of the fact that we are going to get rejected. But I
Mm,
feel like I had not prepared myself that the first response I get might be a rejection, you
mm,
know? So
mm.
when the first feedback came and it was a rejection, it really hit me hard. It
I
it
can
was
imagine.
yeah, it was a shock to my system for some reason. I
Sure,
was shocked. I'm like, really? Like this is it? Like you're not gonna
sure.
even give me a chance to see me? So the first one was so hard, Dr. T, and then now carrying that responsibility to go back and update on TikTok, I realized that
Sure.
if it's hitting me this hard, then chances are even the people that I talk to on TikTok, they're gonna receive it very hard because
Hi friends, just a quick break. I know you're enjoying this program, but I just want to answer some few questions about people who still want guidance on how to access the book. You know what I usually recommend, that make sure that you get an ebook. An ebook, you can get it on Amazon and follow their process. Just click on the link below this video and then follow their process and you'll be able to get the book. I like the ebook process with Amazon because it is instant. You buy the book, you get it immediately on your gadget. But if you are in South Africa and you want to get a hard copy posted directly to your home address without leaving your house, all you have to do, there's a link below this video from our printers who were kind enough to help us with distributing the book. All you have to do, click on the link, fill the form, and they will be able to communicate with you on how to get the book. Usually it takes about 72 hours to get the book to you, and many people have been getting their book, so don't be left behind. See the links below this video on how to get the books, whether on Amazon or for it to be posted to your home address. So don't waste any time. Many people are getting the book, so don't remain behind. Make sure you get your copy while there is still time. Don't wait for the last minute, because the book will actually share with you on how to also prepare for the application, what you have to do, tips that are necessary even before the selection process start. So make sure that you get the book as quick as possible. Let's go back and enjoy the program.
Because another thing is one thing I think I take for granted is actually the impact that I do have, or the impact the channel has.
Yeah.
So I think it was at that point that I realized that there are a lot of people that are rooting for me and are looking up for me. So if I show them this letter, it's probably going to hit them hard. I think I
Yes.
didn't post it immediately. I think I captured that moment. I didn't capture the moment, Dr. T. I filmed the video, I think, the following day when I was now calm and I had processed it. But it was also very intentional to not just bring the letter as it was, but just give an idea that I have received my first rejection and this is what's going on, and still try and maintain the positive mindset. But to me personally, the first one was very hard. It was shocking. I couldn't process it. I didn't process it properly. I think that's when I realized I need to allow myself time to take it in and recognize that this is it. This is the beginning of it. I had been anticipating feedback. I had been anticipating July to start so that we can start hearing from them. But I didn't realize that I didn't prepare that the first one could be a rejection. And it was so quick. It was so quick. So that moment it was tough, Dr. T. I don't want to lie. And I think it was then that I actually took the decision to say I'm not going to update as much as I would have wanted to, because this is hard. If it's this hard for me, it's going to be very hard for them. It's going to kill that little hope that they had. And it's also because I'm also not doing well. I don't like showing up online when I'm not doing well, especially because most of my videos I speak. So when I'm not feeling my best, you can tell, you see. So I think I also stepped back a little bit because I didn't post as much as I would have wanted. I'm not sure if that captures the moment perfectly for you, but that is what was going on. It was very hard. The way days where I really, really struggled to even function. There was a lot of anxiety. I think just that the first one was a rejection, and it made me realize that even the other eight that I'm waiting for could be rejections. I think it made it feel real. It brought me back to reality that as positive as you are, you see this one has rejected you. It's possible that the others might also reject you. You see, so that really was hard on me psychologically, emotionally. It really took its toll. That moment was way too, it was a very big low. But for me, then I knew I needed to take care of myself and also be mindful of what I put on social media, because I had built a very positive platform, you know. So yeah, I think that is what was happening.
Mm. Yeah, look, I mean, and I totally agree with you. I mean, it's really shattering to get that rejection. I even actually thought about the impact of the first rejection, that the first response you get is a rejection. I haven't even thought of that, but I can just imagine that after all the preparations, you've got 10 applications out there, the first one that comes, it's a rejection. Yeah, that really can be very difficult. And I can understand the anxiety that one will go through, because there's also the fear of the uncertainty. You can't, you don't know what will happen. Like you are saying, maybe the next nine are coming are also a rejection. And there's a question I wanted to ask follow up to that. Uh, uh, but maybe let's go here, because the last time we met, it was also after. Yeah, maybe let me ask this. You have the rejection, but also an invite came. the
Yes.
UCT one. How was that now getting an invite? Because I'm sure, one thing I've noticed about selection, nothing is as worse as no response at all.
At
Like
all.
people feel like if I can just be invited, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe they will see something different. But if they only have a paper, they've never met me, I think it makes it worse. You feel like it's a
Mm,
worst rejection because they don't even
mm.
know me,
Yes.
But now you get that validation of an invite. How was the feeling when you got that? What did it mean to you?
Ah, Dr. T, sure. That moment, you know how they write their emails, right? They will
Yeah,
write on the subject. So the moment you open the email application, before you even get into the email, you can
yeah,
see it's a unsuccessful or it's a so the UCT one came and said shortlist. My brain couldn't process it because now I'm expecting rejections and I'm like, shortlist. Then
yeah.
I opened the letter.
Wow.
Then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm actually
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was a thing of, I think when UCT came, I had received two, if not three rejections. I think it
Sure.
was three because SMU also.
Yeah.
It was very validating, Dr. T, in the sense that I had started thinking there was something wrong with my application because I'm like,
Sure.
why are you guys rejecting me? What is
Sure.
wrong? What is it that I did wrong? I, Dr. T, I don't know if it happens with everyone, but
Mm,
you want automatically find reasons to justify the
mm,
rejection.
mm,
The absence of reasons, them not giving you reasons, your brain wants to find reasons to justify
mm,
it so that you
mm,
can be okay with it. So I
mm,
had started being in that to say maybe there was something wrong with my autobiography. Maybe I
mm,
said something I shouldn't have said. Maybe they don't want to
mm,
deal with someone who has gone through what I've been through. So when I
mm.
received UCT, I'm like, so you guys actually like my story? I actually had to. So
Yeah.
UCT had that Google form application, right? So when
Mm,
you're done submitting it, it would email it back to your Gmail. I
mm,
went, Dr. T, and I read that. And because I thought maybe there's something different I did with UCT. There was nothing different, Dr. T. Everything was
mm,
the same. So
mm,
that for me said, yes, vets might have not liked you, but UCT
mm,
does. UCT
mm,
likes you. So it
mm.
was very reaffirming. I was so happy. I was so happy. I'm
Wow.
like, firstly, this is my first time applying. So the
Mm,
autobiography
mm,
that I wrote is what I thought would be right. And the people who
mm,
read it and they agreed. We all
mm,
agreed this is okay. We didn't
mm,
know.
mm, mm.
So UCT saying we like this means we actually did something right, you know. It
Yes.
was really validating. I felt so good. I don't know if you're going to ask me this question, but I'm going to explain.
Mm,
If you don't ask, I will
mm,
explain it later.
mm,
But it was really, I feel like it found me on a very low. I was
mm.
on a low the
Yes,
moment
yes,
it
yes. You
came.
mentioned, yeah.
Yes. But it somehow reignited that hope that maybe this might still happen, you know?
Mm, mm,
Dr. T, when the rejections were coming and I saw that now it's three of them, I started making peace. I
mm,
started making peace. I'm like, okay,
mm,
okay, maybe if
mm,
it's not time, maybe it's
mm,
time I started preparing myself
mm,
mentally for
mm.
not getting in this year. So when it came, ah, it was
You are,
so sad.
you are starting to go through the stages of loss
No,
now.
it's
Kubler-Ross stages of loss. Now you start to cancel yourself now. Acceptance.
that counseling, Dr. G.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but more than anything, it was really validating that, okay, it's not that there's something wrong with your application. It's just
Mm,
that maybe vets just doesn't like how it was presented, or
mm,
there are other people who they liked better than you, and
mm,
that's okay, you know? Yeah,
Mm.
and then now you're at UCT, they liked you better than other people. So yeah,
Mm.
it was it was that. It was very validating. It was very
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And I was like, UCT?
yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, I think it's a huge validation, particularly
Yeah.
if UCT, like you said. I mean, when you told me SMU and UL rejected you, I don't know if you've ever heard of the concept HDIs, which are historically disadvantaged institutions. So there are 8 institutions in South Africa. We call them HDIs.
Okay.
They are formerly black-only institutions.
Oh,
So SMU and UL, they fall under them. So you got rejected in those two. So UCT are more like your high-end institution. So to be accepted there, I think it's a huge validation.
yeah.
And I do agree. I mean, if you are low and UCT comes, I mean, surely there must be something right about your application. If you were doubting, like something is right about my application.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the good thing as well, which I needed to note, was that you applied to 10 institutions,
I did.
which I think for me is something that I always preach,
Yeah.
to say selection for me has got a monopoly aspect around it.
Yeah.
Because as much as I help people, I'm not fully convinced that there is a fully standardized way to be able to make the selection. Hence, you can see somebody being rejected somewhere, like at FMU UL, for example, and they get called at UCT.
Yeah.
And that's why you get people rejected somewhere that year, but the same year they get accepted somewhere. That is why I tell people just to also play the game, put your application everywhere. You don't
Everywhere.
know where your favor or your luck will come from,
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
your part.
Mm.
You see?
Mm.
There was something you had in mind. You were asking if I'm going to ask this question. I didn't want you to lose your trade of thinking. What did you have in mind, if you recall?
I think if you are going to ask me
Yeah.
how did the selection go at UCT and what do I think I did wrong, I was going to talk about that.
Look, we can go there. We can go
Okay.
this because your mind is there already. And yeah, I'm not planning to go into much detail of the selection,
Selection,
but
yes.
but but
Yes.
but you can share that. I think people would appreciate just to know how it went and how you experience it.
Um, I think I wanted to. We spoke about this because we had a briefing before I went to Northwest University, and I was not really sure how to navigate, right?
Yeah.
But what I came down to was when now I compared Northwest University and UCT,
Mm,
my state of mind and my mental state was not the
mm,
same, Dr. T.
mm,
With
mm,
UCT, I believe those lows had a really huge impact. I
mm,
struggled a little bit to come back to my fully functioning self. So I
mm,
navigated the UCT selection being not as stable as I would have
mm,
wanted
mm,
to
mm,
be. So my
mm,
confidence was a bit shaky when I
mm, mm,
went to UCT without getting into the technicalities of the selection. This is just
mm,
how I'm feeling when now I sit back and I reflect and I want to try and understand what could have been different because I feel like I still presented myself the same way in terms of what I said. I
mm,
believe I said the same thing. However, the delivery and the confidence was very different. And that is
mm,
because of how I was feeling during
mm,
the UCT selection and the NW selection. The NW.T was from the day of the invitation to the
mm,
day of the selection itself. There was a whole space. I think it was 2 weeks because I think that not even two, three, because the
mm,
letter came in on the 15th of August and selection started on the 9th of September. So there was
mm,
so much time to prepare, to practice, to do everything. With UCT, it was my first selection after all the rejections that I had
mm,
received, and it was happening the following week. So I
mm,
feel that my state of mind was not the same.
mm,
which then in return affected how I presented myself. Even the level of anxiety was
mm,
very different when with
mm,
UCT and Northwest. So I just wanted to talk about that and maybe even ask you
mm.
how we can best navigate this, because I saw how the rejections affected their performance in selection.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, you see, rejections that are going to affect you psychologically, one way
Yeah.
or the other. And you see, and the difficult thing about the selection process is that it's not coordinated. So that university doesn't speak to the other one to say, you know what, we've rejected him here or her here. Please
Oh,
give her
they
2 weeks
mind.
to they are totally independent from each other, and there is no way to manage that process. The
Yeah.
only thing you can manage at that point is just your mental processes.
Yes.
It's like, when you need to numb the pain and get going now. You need to numb the pain and get going. And it is like that. You need mental strength during
Yeah.
that period, And it, for me, I think it's a good practice for the master's program. And unfortunately, we know this when we're in the master's program. It's
Yes.
just like that. Master's
Yeah.
program needs you mental strength. It's just so fast paced that you don't have time to process.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in the master's program, I didn't have time to learn. So I will make notes of what I need to learn when I finish the master's program. You understand? That is why, and I noticed this when I completed. I was lucky that when I finished my master's, I got employed by the university. So part
Okay.
of my work, I was in the clinic of the psychology department, which means I used to train students on how to use psychometric media. So they will book through me. So I could now go back to the psychometric test and study them thoroughly
Yes.
because I never
Oh,
had time when I was
okay.
doing the masters.
Okay.
Everything I could not understand, I used to now go and read and process it well.
Afterwards.
When we do an intake interview, we ask, was it a normal birth? Was it C-section? What does it mean psychologically? Then I started to read so my mind now started to sort of assimilate all this knowledge, and I could now understand. When we do a test, a child sits here, we tell them this instruction. What do they mean? Why do we have to tell this instruction? Why does the light have to matter? Why,
Mm-hmm.
I started to now go back and relearn what I learned in a
What you learned
fast-paced
during
environment.
masters. Oh,
That's how the masters is. So everybody who does the masters will tell you, you learn a lot at a very compressed period of time, and you have to
yes.
produce it. But it's more like
Mm-hmm.
you just regurgitate it. You don't fully It's when you get to the internship when you are like, oh, let me try now to understand what they were trying to
Yeah.
teach me. you know. So I think it
Yeah.
does prepare you, and I think there is value in the selection to be the way it is. Because
Yes.
when you get into the masters, it's a continuation of that fast-paced environment and mentally straining. It's a lot. I don't want to lie to you. The workload is a lot. It's fast-paced. Everything is it's just a busy 1 year or 2 year, depending on the period. So the short answer to it is I think you need to do more work on yourself
Yeah.
than the external. The external, there's less you can do about it, unfortunately. You know, Rejections are going to come, invites are going to come at the same time. Sometimes they
Yeah.
might even clash. You need to think fast. You need to call that institute, make arrangement. But that's the part of the process. That's
Yeah.
part of the process. Being a psychologist is really not an easy journey to get there. Anybody who go through it will tell you. I don't know, it will cook every part of you. By the
Oh,
time, like it's fascinating when you sit with a psychologist, and I understand it's because of our training.
yeah.
By the time a person is a psychologist to sit with them, there's something different about their thinking.
Yeah.
It's just natural, but it's the process that you go
That
through
we went through.
that it puts
Yeah.
you to a point where you become a psychologist.
That's the
you
whole
know,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
because and I've said this before, we don't have a medication, we don't have a stethoscope, we only have our brain, we
Yeah.
only have our ears. That's all we have. And
Mm.
if these senses are not thoroughly and trained in a way that is rigorous, you don't perform better,
From
you know.
better. Mm.
And you'll see it when you're in sessions. You are just here, person is telling you their issues, and you have to be at the moment. And selection is about that. You have to be at the
At the
moment.
moment,
I'm
yeah.
rejected today, tomorrow I'm
Tomorrow,
accepted. Yesterday must remain on yesterday. Today we are here. We are at UCT. SMU is behind. Limpopo is behind. I am here. The focus must be here. It's tough.
yeah, it is tough. And to add into that, I'm so glad that you answered it the way that you did, because that's exactly what I also noticed when after talking to you and I went
Mm.
for Northwest University, I realized, Dr. T, that I'm going to have to be in myself
Yes.
the best way I can be.
Mm.
That's when I get it now. I realized that I was too nervous with UCT.
Mm.
I adopted a mentality that made me feel like I didn't care about the outcome. And that was
Mm.
to just hold on to my confidence, to just
Mm.
show up. Because if I showed up and I'm worried about my performance, I felt like that is impacting how I show up as
Mm. Mm.
myself.
Mm.
Because now I'm thinking about that and I'm thinking about that. So I think I'll forever be grateful that I went to two selections, because I feel like UCT was a good practice, was good
Mm.
practice. I think that's
Mm.
the
Mm.
right word
Mm.
for NWU, because it showed me how I should prepare for
Mm.
Northwest University, and also that came from reflection,
Mm.
from asking myself, what could I have done better? And I realized how I felt, Dr. D,
Mm.
mattered so much, because
Mm.
it
Mm.
showed up with UCT how I was feeling. You could
Mm.
even hear from my voice, I didn't sound the same. I didn't
Mm.
sound the same. So you are right. You are right
Mm.
in working on yourself and being mentally strong. That's what I
Mm.
needed. That's forgetting about my problems. I had so many problems when I went to
Mm.
Northwest, but I had to
Mm.
forget. I had to put that aside and say,
Mm.
this is your problem right now. First,
Mm.
get rid of this, then you can come back and worry about everything. But I feel like for UCT, I came carrying everything,
Mm.
and I feel
Mm.
like that showed. So,
Mm.
yeah, that is
Mm.
just how I made sense of the
Mm.
both the
Mm.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You learn to live in the present,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's a real life test. And just remind me, at UCT, how far did you go?
I made it to the final round. I made it to the top 16.
Wow. So, how many people were there at the initial invite? Do you know?
30.
So there were 30.
Mm-hmm.
And how many stages, how many days did you have to go for the selection? Was it face to face?
No, it was online.
Okay.
It
And then
was
how many days? 2 or 3?
it was 3 days before the final round,
Yeah.
and then there was a few days in between. But I think the selection process, all the activities were done over a period of 4 days, even though they were spread out. But I
Mm.
think for us who made it to the final round, we did 4 days. And then for everyone, I think it was 3 days. For those who didn't make it to the final round, yeah,
Yeah. And how many did they select?
8.
Oh, that's why the final you were 16. So they took half.
Yes, yes.
Wow, wow. And I know you mentioned it in passing because I wanted to get to that part.
Okay.
After you didn't make it to the final, and I mean, although you say your mind was not, you are not in a good mindset, but I mean, it's a huge achievement to get to the top 16 at UCT, Noham. You are not just anywhere, you are at UCT,
Yes.
top 16. And how did you, and then I think you mentioned that you, more like a defense mechanism, you tried to explain it out
Yes.
why you didn't make it. But I think the part I wanted to get into, you went for the feedback, and that's the part I want to understand. Because when I spoke to you, you were coming from the feedback. And it seems like the feedback had an impact, and you'll explain it in your own experience and why we ended up having to meet. Just take me through that. What led to you wanting the feedback, and how did the feedback impact you?
Look, Dr. T, it was my first time applying, right?
Mm,
And
mm,
they were willing to give feedback, like individual feedback.
yeah.
I thought to myself, if I didn't make it, I would want to really know what I could have done better, because
Mm,
I think I was cognizant of the fact that I will have to apply again if I don't make it this year. So that
mm,
feedback became essential for me in cases where I would have to apply again. I think it was
mm,
necessary in that sense that I need to know, especially because I had made it to the final round. I wanted to
mm,
know what I could have done better, you know.
mm,
And it
mm,
was
mm,
also I had to battle with it, Dr. T, because it's
mm,
like this was so very anxiety provoking. I'm not sure if I want to hear from you guys again, but I was
mm,
like, this is very necessary for me. I need to push the fear aside and just get to hear what they have to say so that I can use it next time, should there be a
mm,
need.
mm,
And then how it had an impact. Dr. T, there was really nothing, honestly. Like the feedback was so positive that
mm,
it still left me asking, then what did I do wrong if that
mm,
is what
mm,
you have to
mm, mm,
say? Because
mm.
the feedback was, I mean, she even asked me, how do you feel you did with your role play? Dr. T, role play was 5 minutes. I don't
Yeah,
even know how I did. I was too nervous to understand
yeah,
what's going on. But for you
yeah.
guys to have passed me through that
I was on
level
the
to the
top
next
16.
level,
Yeah.
you understand. I'm like, but it means I did well. I don't know what you want me to say, but I just took that moment and reflected quickly. And I said,
Mm,
I think I was too nervous. If maybe I was a bit less nervous, I would have performed, I would have showed up better than the way that I did. That's
mm,
what I said, because I really didn't have anything much to say. And she said, no, man, she asked, have you done any professional counseling? I said no. And then that's when I think I gave her something to speak about. Then she said, we would really like for you to go and gain more experience in
mm,
counseling,
mm,
and then try again. Otherwise, there were no major concerns. We really were impressed. You were one of our strongest, these are her words, you were one of our strongest candidates. It's just that obviously we had to choose who
mm,
we want to go with for this year. But these are the areas we would like you to work on your imposter syndrome. I spoke about imposter syndrome a little bit, but I also, my research proposal was on it. So I
yes.
think that gave ideas. Yeah.
Mm,
So
mm, 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 mm,
I think more than anything, it was uplifting. For me, it
mm,
was saying you did well. For a
mm,
first timer, you did
mm,
well. You did so
mm,
well that you made it to the final round. And then now when I spoke to you, you also
mm,
confirmed the same thing. And you said
mm,
if they had capacity, they would have taken all 16 of you. It's just that
mm,
now it becomes about technicalities. So it was a very positive experience. The
mm,
feedback, and then you saying the same things before I
mm,
even told you what they said, that for me
mm,
was validation to say you did well in Shabo. That's
mm,
why I will also forever be grateful that I went through that selection first, because it also had an impact on the second one that I went to. With the
mm,
information that I knew now, I realized
mm,
that I am actually a strong candidate, Dr. T.
mm, mm.
Uh,
Wow, wow, wow. I like
yeah.
that. I'm actually a strong candidate.
I,
Not
I am.
anywhere at UCT.
At UCT, I was a strong candidate, unfortunately,
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
Look,
so
yeah, I totally agree. But I think the part also I wanted to deal with, I think, is the I wouldn't say the confusion, but I think getting understanding of how to use the feedback, because I think that's where people mostly get confused about it, particularly if you reach the last stages.
yeah.
Because I think I once spoke about it in one video, and I said, having been part of the selection, I know that when I'm in the last group or last 16 or whatever the last group is, where they take the final, it's very difficult to distinguish who's better than the other. It
Yes.
becomes more what the university wants and the kind of people that we want them to make the last cohort than whether you can be a psychologist or not. The other side of it, particularly for the candidates, is that the feedback might also bring the element of, if I'm good, then why did you exclude
Yes.
me? Why did I
Yes.
not be? Because it's one thing to tell me you are one of our strong candidate, but okay, not strong enough to be
To be
selected.
selected. So what
You
do you
understand?
mean?
And then
Yeah.
because I think when we spoke, you raised this issue that referring to the imposter syndrome, get experience in counseling, because
Yeah.
that can act on you, affect you psychological. Does it mean the next one even to go?
Yes.
Should I change and not talk about?
Yeah, yes. Yes, I remember that was one of my worries that
Yeah,
did I shoot myself on the foot by mentioning the imposter syndrome because I really felt like they had nothing to say, so they
yeah,
just had to find something,
yeah,
because they
yeah.
committed to giving feedback. So they have to find something to talk about. So I,
Mm,
I did worry, like, how do I navigate this? Because I felt like I did my best. How
mm,
do I then know what to say and what not to say when I now go
mm,
to the other one?
mm,
Yeah, there was a lot of that even on my side. What do I
mm,
say, Dr. T? What do I not say? Because
mm,
this is me. At the end
mm,
of the day, this is me.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's what I wanted to also maybe share with the people, because I think that was my message to you, that
Mhm.
regardless of the feedback, particularly because it will start to poke holes in areas that for you are your strength in your story. Stick to
Yes.
your story, regardless of the feedback,
Yeah.
unless really, really you agree. But if you are concerned about what you are hearing, because for you it's still your story, you
Mm,
stick to it. You take the feedback with a pinch of salt, take the positive, cast out the negative, and you continue with your story.
with it.
Because now
Yeah.
you have already have your own speeches in your mind, and now somebody wants to affect them
I
and
know.
test it. And that's the question I wanted to ask. When you went then to Northwest, did you
Mhm.
change your story because the feedback gave you all this? You need counseling, and what did your story change now?
My story did not change.
Yeah.
Um, but it showed up differently because
Yeah.
of how the questions were asked. I did mention that how this affected me, a particular experience, how it
Mm,
affected me. The question was asked, how does this now show up in your adulthood, in your adult
mm,
life? And I did mention that I have often struggled to celebrate my achievements. You see, that is
mm,
imposter syndrome, but it's showing up differently now
mm,
because of how the question was asked. And also,
mm,
I was also very cognizant of not disclosing things that I'm not asked.
mm,
You
mm,
know,
mm,
the story didn't necessarily change, but
mm,
I think the delivery was
mm,
different now.
mm.
That is what changed, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I once also mentioned it in another video. Avoid things that, because, and this is how feedback open. If you
Yeah.
want the feedback, we need to get a feedback.
Yes.
And we must get it from what you say.
Yes.
And if you insinuate anything negative, we'll make that part of the feedback, because the feedback
Yes.
must be reasonable, must be logical, it must be
Yes.
based on my
Must make
story.
sense.
You get
Yeah.
a point. And I tell people, don't open doors of things that will insinuate negativity that they can
Yeah.
hold on to in case they need to cut somebody. And I'm glad, and I think that's what you are speaking to now. You are now seeing a pattern to say, if I mention this in this way, they can use it against me like this.
Yes.
So let me have a
Yes.
different approach. It is still my story, but I will learn from my experience. And I think my second question then to that or follow up is, will you still recommend feedback for people to go for it? And if so, how should people handle it or make sense of it? You know?
Sure, Dr. T, I Sometimes I ask myself if I have toxic positivity, but I don't
Mm,
think I do.
mm,
I want to take the positive out of everything. So for me, I would recommend that people go and get feedback
mm,
simply because of how I experienced it. For
mm,
me, it was validating more than anything.
mm,
It was comforting. It was saying, yes, you didn't make it, but you
mm,
did well. You
mm,
did very well, and
mm,
this is why we didn't take you now. We
mm,
might take you next year, we don't know, but this is what we would like for you to go and work on.
mm,
So, for someone to actually even create that space for me was such a big deal. Looking at that,
mm,
the other 9 universities, seven didn't do it. So, that was a big deal. And then what I got out of it was very positive. And
mm,
I think that is what people should be after too. Dr. T, the application process will mess you up psychologically.
mm,
And I
mm,
think if there is any positivity that can come out of it, I think people should grab it with both hands. One thing about psychologists, they won't hurt your feelings.
mm,
One thing about, I don't know if it was UCT people, but it was very kind. It was
mm,
very validating. And I think for me, that was the biggest part of it. And as much as I knew that they're grasping on straws, the fact that I was told that you were one of the strongest candidates, that I took that and I ran with it. That actually worked for me more than not getting in affected
mm,
me. So what
mm,
I got from the feedback was more impactful than the letter that said, unfortunately, we can't continue with you. You know,
mm,
I'm
mm,
not sure if
mm.
that I'm delivering it that well, but I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
will be subjective, Dr. T. I think it will be subjective because of how we are as human beings. Someone will not receive it well, but people like me will.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, you will get that question of, so if you only have positive things to say about me, then why didn't you take me? But
Mm,
I chose to focus on. Well, I did think about it, but I chose to focus on the fact that she did say I was one of the strongest. So that means I
mm,
did well. So I need to
mm,
take that and try and polish it, see where I can polish it so that I can deliver it shining when I go to
mm,
Northwest University, you see.
mm, mm.
So for me, it was very positive and it was very helpful. And I do wish people can go for it when it's offered. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's good. And yeah, I think, I mean, anything that's offered that has got a possibility to add to your growth and development,
Yes. Those are
uh,
the words.
I think is something that is valuable. And I think people, particularly if you're going to be a psychologist, you need to be open to constructive criticism
Yes, 100%.
because I think mostly they will try to give you that. But as long as you can handle whatever gray areas, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the areas of confusion well, you know,
Yeah.
because feedback is always feedback, it's what you do with it. And
Yes.
now, moving to you being selected, and I must congratulate you officially that you are now a clinical psychology candidate at the Northwest University.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Thank
congratulations.
thank you
I
very
think if
much.
there's anybody who deserve it, it's you.
Oh, you don't
Really
know
deserve it.
that.
I'm telling, with all the hard work you've done on TikTok helping others, I think it will have been a sin for you not to be selected. It will be a sin.
To see, I fought for my life.
This will have been a
You.
sin. So yes, those who are watching, I'm talking to a clinical psychology candidate who we have
Yes.
been hearing people don't get selected in clinical. I'm sitting with one here. Yeah. After
First
how
time.
many rejection? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven rejection.
Yes.
Oh, eight in UCT.
Yes.
Jesus. Oh, out of 10 applications. Then
Yeah.
you made it into the clinical program.
Yes, and I am a first-time applicant. That is very important.
Wow, wow, wow. We need to mention that because there are people who believe you can't be accepted when you're a first-time
Yes.
applicant. Say
Yes.
something about that because such that people who trouble us, as we are first-time applicants, but we're all crock in the game. That's many years ago. Maybe it doesn't happen anymore. Maybe these people who come to my channel tell me that the first, like both Hero,
Yes.
they're just cooking information. Can you
No.
just something about that? First time applicants. We need to raise the first time applicant generation. I'll start to
Yes,
put the
please.
criteria. Unless you're the first time, I don't interview. Please say something about that. I think I
Ah,
want people to hear that.
Dr. Z. Yes, I'm a first-time applicant. It was my first time
Wow.
applying this year. I did my honors last year. I
Yeah.
went through the some of the forms that were available online, and I decided I'm not ready for some reason. I just didn't want it to interfere with my honors studies, so I didn't apply. Then I applied this year, and I gave it my all. Dr. T, I did my best. I used the help that I had available, and here we are. It
Wow.
if I must take it to the spiritual side of things, Dr. T,
Yeah.
I've also known that it's hard to get in on your first time. But I
Yeah.
remember at the beginning of this year, I prayed to God and I said, I am very loud. So it will
Mm,
be awkward if I
mm,
don't get in.
mm,
I prayed and I said, God, can my journey be different? Can
mm,
I not conform to the standards of this world? Can my
mm,
journey not follow the already set path that everyone
mm,
believes is everyone's fate? Can I not fall part of that? So I
mm,
prayed. I said
mm,
that prayer and I declared it and I said, my journey will not be the same. I will not suffer. I will not
mm,
struggle.
mm,
And
mm,
that's what I did, Dr. T. I
mm,
applied
mm.
and you see how many rejections I got. But
Sure.
I've only been to two selections and I'm here. I didn't even have I feel that maybe if I had went to quite a number of them, I would say I had experience. I didn't have experience with selection. It
Mm,
was just all first time I did it. I did it well and I
mm,
got in. And
mm.
that's it.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, look, I mean, it's a huge achievement, I'm telling you. And I'm glad that you are mentioning prayer because I mentioned it on the ad. I said, people, everybody watch my channel. So everybody watch my channel. If you think my channel alone is your ticket, other people add other things in the
Yeah.
background. Others they go to a sangoma, others they pray in addition. So you need to bring some other forces as well.
You can't do it alone. You
Yeah.
can't.
So you need to bring forces. So I'm glad. So if you don't pray, I don't know. I don't know. I told you when I got selected, I was very prayerful, you
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
So you need to bring something, guys. Don't come
Yeah.
naked here
You need to
with
hold on to
YouTube alone.
something. You need to know that you're not walking alone because this journey will bring you
Some
on
other
knees.
people, they come there swallowing things when they're talking questions. You find a person is not talking. You come naked. You have nothing. The only thing you have is Dr. T's channel. You need to bring something. Other people that are having something in the pocket. You find a
Ah,
person is sitting like this. You think
yeah.
upete kukwane, kukwane.
No, honestly, because there's no way. There is no way, Dr. Ticho.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, I don't know what you bring. As we bring prayer, that's all we
As we
can
bring
bring.
prayer, we bring the blood of Jesus. This, yeah. Hey,
Ah,
no.
no, Shabamang, I'm very happy for you. I don't want
Thank
to lie.
you. Thank
I
you.
mean, you have been very kind to me. You have been a friend of this channel. If there's anybody I wanted to see in the program, after all my book, I see now it has achieved something in you. You are the only one I
Yes.
believe read that book and practiced it. I'm telling you. If you don't believe me,
I
guys,
did.
go to her TikTok and listen to her when she speaks about the book. So yeah, being a friend of the channel as well, let me put you on the spot. Because I don't know, for some reason, I enjoy watching your video about the channel and the book. It's like as if, hey, this person, it's like this channel is for her because you seem to know it better than even myself.
Yes, yes. I know where to find who,
Because there
depending on
was,
the need.
yes, there was a time I think you were telling me about the videos you watched and how you prepared. You know what? To be honest with you, I no longer do a lot of selection videos, and that
Yeah,
is why even now I'm not asking about the selection per se, the nitty-gritties of them. One of them is because I feel we've done a lot of videos
yeah.
about that, and I think what we have is a lot. But, and I'm asking you this because I mean, you are also a content creator, you have got a YouTube channel, but I feel people in the South African thing, we are not, well knowledgeable. We are not in terms of social media. If a person were to go to the channel or discover it today or after watching this video, what advice will you give them on how to best benefit from it? Because I once did a video, I was like, okay, guys, if you want playlist, you go here. But I'm like, because people don't understand how to, because there's a playlist for just selection only. But I mean, you have been there more than me myself. I don't go to the channel. A newcomer, just advice, how can they benefit from it to have that confidence or to feel better prepared?
I think the first thing is to know the question, know
Yeah.
what you're looking for. When
Yes.
you know what you're looking for, it will be easier to look for the answer. And most of the time, the answers are on the title of the video. So even
Mm,
if someone was to go on their search bar on YouTube and search
mm,
anything, Dr. T, anything psychology, if
mm,
you have ever made a video on that topic, it will come up. This is
mm,
even before they get into your channel. If they just go
mm,
into YouTube and search how to write an autobiography for master's application in psychology, probably your video will probably be the
mm.
first one to
Is
come up.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's good.
But now if they are to log into YouTube, go into your channel, you
Mm,
can still search within the channel
mm,
anything, Dr. T. That's why I said I think the most important thing is the question, is to know what answers they are looking for,
mm,
because everything is there. I
mm.
don't even know what the title for this video is, but I know everything is there.
Or you
So
mean the Q&A video?
yeah, anything. If they
Okay.
want Q&A and they search Q&A, we will come up, me and you. If they
Yes.
say honors selection, a video that you made on honors selection and you titled it that, it will come up. Anything
Yeah.
that is on the title, if they search it, will come up. That's how I search your videos. The day I told you, the day that I went for the panel interview, I was
Mm.
watching you and I think Arnold, if I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I
You
confused
mentioned you mentioned Arnold and you mentioned Tiro because Tiro was the first time.
Diro. Yes, the
Yes.
one with the white t-shirt. Yes, it
Yeah.
was Diro. That's what I searched for. I
Yeah.
searched for that. So I think the most important thing, I also tell them on TikTok that YouTube is your friend. Whatever question you have, especially the questions that they ask also on the comment section, Dr. T, there's a video to answer all those questions. They also just have to be patient and watch
Mm.
the whole video. It's important. I found that, especially people who are used to watching TikTok, you see how TikTok
Mm.
has short videos. You
Yeah.
get everything at once and then you are done. So people are
Mm.
not patient enough to sit with the 45 minutes video. And that is a
Mm.
problem because
Yeah.
what you are probably looking for was answered at minute 37 and you
Yeah.
don't want to watch it to that point. So what I do with YouTube is I play it. I don't watch it. I listen to it like it's a
Mm.
podcast. That
Yeah.
way I'm able to sit to stay through the whole video and get all the answers that I need. Dr. T, I feel YouTube played a huge role in me actually getting to this point.
Mm.
Your channel alone
Mm.
single-handedly carried me
Mm.
through this
Wow.
this process. So I think people need to be comfortable with YouTube and understand that it won't be a 3 minutes video, and understand that knowledge, that as much as today maybe they're looking for a video to answer one question, if they were
Mm,
to sit through that video, they will probably get answers to questions that they're going to have tomorrow, but they just don't know it yet. So
mm,
your channel, and even to talk about it, if I must exaggerate, which I know I'm not, but it's going to sound like I am, I feel in South Africa so far, your channel is the most field, is the most, what is the word, Dr. T? It's fully loaded. I have
wow.
personally felt like every question I have has been answered somewhere. You just need the patience to look. You just need the patience to sit through a video. As long as I can see you are interviewing someone who got into masters, I know that the question that I have about masters is going to be answered on that video. So I
Mm,
realized how much of patience it required from me. And that's what I want people to do. Have the question, have the patience to sit through the video and listen. When people see 1 hour, they'll be like, mm-mm. I know this because I've seen it. And they'll be like, a whole 1 hour video. You don't have to watch, you just have to listen. You can clean
mm,
while Dr. Tsebe is talking with
mm,
Arnold. You can do whatever while you are just listening. And I also tell them that now the information is there. When I started Dr. T, there wasn't much. There really
mm,
wasn't much, but now you have contributed so much. I am there. There are other people that are there, even on TikTok. The
mm,
knowledge is there, the information is there. People just need to
mm,
know what to look for and have the patience to watch and listen, then they can learn, and then we can have less people being stuck with a psychology degree. We can have more people making it into the master's program. We can have people that are very informed in their decision making because they have the information is there. They just need to know where to look for it, which is here on YouTube, on your channel. Probably even discover other creators which I don't know of, but I know that this circle is very small. So I am sure that I've probably seen everyone who has ever
mm.
made a video on psychology.
Wow, you spoke mouthful. You spoke mouthful. You must be employed as the marketing manager for this channel. Wow, wow. Look, and what you are saying is totally true because for some reason, I still get people who ask me about questions that I think we've covered them on certain videos.
Yes.
But I remember there was a time actually when I started the channel because at that time, and you are right, there were not a lot, but there was this lady, I think it was Lupindo or
Umikazi
Lupindo.
Lupindo. Yes.
I think that lady was the only one that I thought, was very impactful and was providing very relevant information. I
Yes.
think I even once sent a message. I wanted to interview. Do you know her?
I know her, Dr. T. Even
Oh,
when I
please.
prepared for UCT,
Yeah.
I watched her video, I don't know how many times. She made it 6 years ago when she was talking about her selection at UCT, because that's where she did her M1.
Is it?
Yes, I know her. I follow her on Instagram now. Yeah, I know Bumi.
No, tell her, please, I'd like to interview her one day. Of
Okay.
all the, tell her of all the people I interview, she's the one I want to interview the most. So you know what? Thank you for people think I'm leading in this. She actually was the first person that
Yes.
I saw her. I'm like, let me just contribute to this and add because I mean she
Yes.
was, I think at that time a student, but I felt I could bring because I had already sat in the selection in the
Yeah.
panel, and I felt I can bring another aspect. Because when you hear people, you can hear where the gaps are and the role
Yes.
you can play. So she was very good, and
She
and
was.
and please, if you know her, what's her name? Lupindo.
Umikazi
Yes,
Lupindo.
I sent her a message, I think, on Instagram because I was searching her. I think
Mm.
she just, I don't even think she saw it. But anyway, if you please, Lupindo, when you hear this, tell her that there's a black guy somewhere who's interested in interviewing you. I love to interview people like that,
Yeah.
because they are growing. Like, I mean, the way we got so close because of the work you are doing as well.
Yeah.
So definitely, and please, people, check in Shab on TikTok. I want to ask you what your handle because every time you get them wrong, I will put them myself. So don't worry. They must check you. Are you
Yes.
still active on YouTube?
Well, the last time I filmed was during the application process. Dr. T, I
You,
haven't had capacity.
you know what? If you are not active now, I can assure you won't be active next year.
Next year,
But
yes.
please don't drop the TikTok.
I
It will be nice when
won't.
you get there. Now you share, because that's what people are asking me. You
Yeah.
share about the master's program. There's a gap in that area. The master's
Yes.
program, how you experience.
Yes.
I think if we can focus on that, it will give a lot of insight. Please, the least you can
I
do.
will. I will. I will do it to honor you. That's it. That's
Oh,
all I'm saying.
I receive
Yeah.
it. I receive it. I receive, I
Yeah.
receive, I receive, I receive, I receive.
Yes. I was just saying, Dr.
Please, when
T.
you are there, the master's program, please come and do a video and tell people how the master's is.
I will. I
Please,
definitely will.
just remind us of the horror of
Ah,
and tell me when you are
oh
at the peak now, you understand what I'm talking about. I want you to come at that time when you're like,
my
yeah, no, no,
God.
no. Now I know what we're
Now,
talking about. It didn't make
Dr.
sense.
T,
Now I know what we're talking about. I want you
well,
to come at that time to say, people, when you're applying, be aware.
be aware this is what is awaiting. This is what you want to get yourself into.
I was
Yeah.
speaking to, there's another lady called Lebo. Lebo does mentorship for people to get into the selection. So I interviewed her about her biography and when she got selected into SMU. So I was
Okay.
speaking to her about a week or two ago. I'm like, oh, how is it going with the mentorship? I want to refer people. Say, I took a break this year. I said, it's understandable. At least I told you that. And that's how the masters is.
Yeah.
But I must say, masters generally is hectic,
Yeah.
but I think clinical is the worst. Let
So I
if
hear.
if I were to stay, I had a friend, I still want to interview him. We were in the same race. He was doing his name is called Taban Clark. It's also big on social media. So we're in the same race, but he was doing clinical, I was doing educational. I think when I was at honors, he was in first year masters. When I got into masters, he was in a second year. I think masters that time was 2 years.
Yeah.
But I could sense the difference because he was sleeping 3 hours. I was sleeping at least 4 or 5. So I knew that no, there's a difference. Me, at least I sleep long. So every time we met, he looked like a zombie. Like, guy, you don't sleep, my guy. You'll collapse. He was literally not sleeping.
Shame,
Three,
man.
that's how hectic masters
Mm,
was. I don't know if it has reduced, but
I don't
I
think so.
knew that clearly, clearly, we are not in the same because me, I sleep longer than him. And that's how worse the master's program was.
Yeah.
So just be ready. I hope things are better now. You'll sleep more, but I can assure you it's so hectic.
I don't think they are better, Dr. T. Everyone, okay, I know I know quite a few people at M1 and they're like, I get it, you are home now.
Yeah,
Sleep as much as you can because you are
that's
going
true.
to miss that time. You are going to wish you
Look,
had slept every day.
let me tell you something. When I finished my aim, one thing that I was looking forward to was to sleep. And I remember telling myself that one thing I'm going to do when I finish, I want to
Sleep.
sleep a normal sleep. That sleep where you are woken up by the sun. I was like, I'm going to sleep like a normal person. That yeah, you see, those are the things that will tell you how hectic masters is. You don't understand a normal sleep.
Yes, they
It's
said
like even
sleep.
if you do it, you'll feel you've done something wrong. Like you don't deserve it.
Yes,
You
to
can't be
sleep.
sleeping. You're the
There's
only. You feel like you're
something
the
to
only one in
do.
class.
Who's sleeping?
People, I masters, I tell
Ay,
you, it's something else. I'm telling you. So,
yes.
so feel free. If there's anything you want to share, and I really wanted to ask you about that. Anything you want to share about the selection we have not touched, touch on it because in any case, I had a question that I was going to ask you, but
Okay.
maybe share something that you want to share about UCT before I ask what I wanted to ask.
Yes, I wanted to share that Dr. T, going through the selection at UCT, right? It showed me the importance of we can prepare you and I can have five mentors. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, it is me who's going to show up. And the fact that I
Yes.
don't know what I'm going to face there,
Mm.
whatever comes at me will require a lot of my self-awareness. It's going to
Yes.
require a lot of personal insight, a lot of mental strength, because Dr. T is not going to be there to tell
Mm.
me what to do and how to do it.
Yes. Yes.
I read the book, I prepared the answers, I prepared the questions, but I think more than anything, what I took for me was the approach.
Mm.
I took it and I internalized it so that whatever I say will be guided by the approach that you took, because I knew that it's not necessarily what was said in the book, it's going to
Mm.
be what is going to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So the selection process taught me exactly that we need to really, really invest in personal development. We need to invest in self-awareness, Dr. T. You really
Mm.
need to know who you are and how you react to certain
Mm.
things. So you need to be
Mm.
in touch with that because it really feels like you're being thrown curveballs like all the
Mm.
time. Like
Mm.
one is coming from this side, one is coming from this side, and how you navigate that is what is
Mm.
going to determine how you have represented yourself through this
Mm.
throughout the selection. So for me, that is the biggest lesson I took, that I have learned so much, but I
Mm.
understand that the person that showed up is who I am. More than
Mm.
what I've been told, more than the preparations that I made, because certain things you can't prepare for. Dr. G,
Mm.
certain things I couldn't have prepared for. It just
Yeah.
required me knowing myself. That's why I'm bringing it up, that we are going to prepare, but the person in that room is going to be you. Your
Mm.
personality, how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself is what is going to carry you in
Yeah.
doing the selection.
Yeah.
That for me was the biggest highlight, that what carried me was what I know, what I think, how I
Mm.
feel, more than
Mm.
what I have learned. Yes, the support is there, the support is needed, but there's a huge aspect that is going to require you as a person to show
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that is my biggest contribution. I think I've also said it on TikTok that work on yourselves, work on
Yeah.
yourself, get to know yourself so much that nothing shakes you. I'm not saying go there and be perfect, but you need to navigate, be able to recognize that, okay, I'm being backed into a corner and I
Mm.
can feel that my walls are going up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
look, and on my side, I can only appreciate that at least you were able to share what you shared with UCT. Because really, I think for me, you are right. I think we have a lot. And I mean, you mentioned some of the videos. And I must say, actually, the video I did with you, I feel I've done injustice because I wanted to actually, and I'm going to do that in February next year. It's
Okay.
already in my plans. I've diarized it. February next year, that video I did with you because it was around 2 hours. So I need my December to sit down and break it into sections. I
Yes,
will spread it
yes.
around because I think that video for me, it has a lot of foundational questions that can help
Yes.
people. But like you say, people don't want to sit through the whole video. They just
Yes.
want to forward and do whatever, which I don't encourage. But I mean, if it's your future and you are watching a video that can change your life, you want to watch all of it. But I'm going to do that. So don't be surprised that you are in a class, you are becoming famous again. You're like, guys, what is it? Can I do my master's with peace? February, I've got a due date with Shabo's video, the Q&A video. I've got a due date. And the other Q&A is the famous one already. There's nothing I'm gonna do. But yours,
Mm,
I think I'm going to do a breakdown because you answered key questions about selection. So, Nshabo, thank you so much. Before we close, I've got two last questions.
Okay.
I hope, yeah, you are not tired. I'm really
No,
enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. I
Dr.
think a lot are
T,
going to enjoy.
I've been
You can
through a
speak
lot.
about
This is
this.
nothing.
Oh, you've been through
I've
selection.
been
This
through
is
a lot.
after UCT
I've
selection
been, yo.
rejections. Now I can imagine. No, but thank you for really indulging this on this. So, last two questions.
Okay.
Based on your experience now, given
Yes.
that you have a TikTok channel, you have a YouTube channel, you have now been selected. Now, you see, you have a sort of a broader view of you help people getting selected. You were part of the process. You got selected. You have got your two channels that is also helping people to get into the program. You have went through the selection process. You are now selected.
Yes.
Having that knowledge now, because sometimes you hear it, I'm talking, you are trying to put it, what really is the core? What do they want? And now you are on the other side. What can you say are maybe your 3 or 5 top tips for somebody to be selected into the master's program with all your experience, knowledge, everything? If you had to choose just 3 or 5, or
Yes.
or two, I don't know. I just came randomly those numbers. Maybe there's one. I'm saying 5. Maybe there's one. I don't know.
I always have a lot to say, but let me see. Um, I think the first thing would be the obvious one, academic excellence.
Yeah.
How I see it, Dr. T, is if you have one less thing to worry about,
Hmm.
that is good for you. So if you can kill your academics, do that. So
Okay.
that when you are now applying, you don't worry about, oh, my average is actually 64.
Hmm.
Let that be dealt with from first year. Then we know that when you now want to get into honors or you want to get into masters, academics are the list of your worries because you know you did so well. I feel like that for me was such a plus. I didn't have to worry about my marks, Dr. T, at all.
What
So
was your marks, by the way, out of curiosity? So
that's
that at
no
least maybe you know what you are talking about here, because people are
I,
curious and so they must measure, like, where are you, if I may ask?
Dr. T, I'm a golden key member. Just know that.
Wow, you're a golden key member.
Yes.
Wow, I had to study theology to be a golden key member.
Sorry.
Guys, golden key, you must be a distinction person. So me, I was just there on the 72. I was close by. My psychology, I can tell you my average was about 72, I think, for honors. Masters, I can't remember. Masters, I just got there, relax. I'm here. I've arrived.
I've
I've
arrived. There's
arrived.
no
What?
need.
There's no need to prove anything.
Mm-mm.
But I remember honors, I think I was around 72. So distinction, it was not my category. I grew up like that. I knew myself. Distinctions and A were not part of my family background. so so I never dreamed too much around those areas. Only when I got to honors, I became a hard worker. Then I ended there. But I could see there's the potential, which I need outward.
Mm.
So then I studied, I like theology. I realized I've got a call. Then I went to theology. And that's when actually my true nature, my true genius came out. Then I got into the golden key for the first time. Imagine. So guys, that says it all. When a person they fall under that category, golden key, the top 15% students in the university. When I was at SMU, actually, when I was managing the student support, I became now a golden key advisor. Me and the DVC, so the DVC will be, I think, advisor will become a core. So we're the one now who work with the golden key national. And that's how I started to know a lot about the golden key. I started to even get more honors than I deserved as a student, you know? So I actually interviewed, there was a point I interviewed a golden key person, manager, the national one. Did you see it? Ever saw the video? You wouldn't see because already part of the family. But in any
Yeah.
case, I get the message. Guys, if you don't know what it means, go Google Golden Key Awards. But the short story is the top 15% achievers of a university. So they usually ask us a list to give us them a list. We send it to them. They send them invite to register. So I understand why I was not part of it. It makes sense when I started to know about it. So, okay, we get the message academics. The next one, we get the message because people need to measure themselves. They mustn't say, but Inshabo got selected by just being on beyond the golden key. Beyond the golden key vest. You know, I saw somebody, was it on Facebook, saying, guys, will I be selected with, I think the person had 65 or 66. I
You
said, you know
see what
what?
I mean?
I said to the person, there's a video I did where I speak about selection and how many
Mhm.
universities take.
Yes.
So part of that video, because I spoke to the HODs, I was asking them as well, but it was just for me. How many people did you get applying, and where was your cutoff marks percentage? And I remember this was at SMU. I think it was the honors program actually. They cut at 70. So I told to the person, I mean, 70 become the ideal cutoff point in most of the programs. I think now people
Mm.
are getting the marks. If
Yes.
you don't have 70, yeah, it's not going to be that easy for you.
Yeah.
65, remember, you are on the dot.
You're on the dot. The
Yeah,
minimum. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the mere minimum.
Yeah.
You see? So, but yeah, look, I got the message. You don't need to say more. Academic is number one, but it's not just academic. They call it academic excellence. I think
Yes.
that's the word you used, ne?
Yes.
It's not just academics. It must
No.
have excellence at the end.
Please, please,
Guys,
Dr. T, please.
it's a name and a surname.
Yes,
Academic
academic
Waha excellence.
excellence.
It's Bongo
Yes.
Sake, excellent. Okay, they got the message.
Yes.
Okay. Number two.
Number two. Okay, let me first do the practical stuff. Number two would be what we refer to as volunteering. But for me, maybe this is something also I need to talk about because I speak about it so as to encourage other people so that they don't disqualify themselves before they try, right?
Yeah.
Um, Work, Dr. T, work and volunteering. I feel that those teach you interpersonal skills rather.
Mm,
And I feel that from all the information that I have gathered, not I don't, let me not use this word. I think the focus is to see the extent and how much you've been exposed to people
mm,
more than the organization that you were exposed to people in.
mm,
I what I have gathered in terms of what I've heard and the process that I went through, where the focus was, I believe the focus is to see how much you've worked with people.
mm,
So, and that is why the reason why I say that is because I saw that even in application forms, formal work experience matters. They want to see it there. And that's
mm,
what made me believe that is to see how exposed you have been to the South African context in the sense that you can speak for everyone or you are able to put yourself in other people's shoes. That's how I
mm,
understood it. So this is where people will emphasize the importance of volunteering. I say,
mm,
even work itself,
mm,
if you are studying and maybe you can't volunteer because maybe you are somewhere, but you can get a December job,
mm,
that experience matters. So I think to cover both volunteering and formal work, just be as exposed as possible. If it's organization on campus where that interacts with other students or that help other students with something, just be exposed, work with people, an experience that you will be able to write about. That
Yeah.
is very important, yes. So the reason why I'm putting them together is because people tend to say they don't want to apply, or they are worried that they've never volunteered before. Dr. T,
Mm,
we can't do everything.
mm,
We are not capacitated to do everything. You can't work, you are employed at McDonald's, but because you want to be a psychologist, you also want to volunteer. What time are you going to volunteer?
mm.
Honestly, that is for me how I understood it. I don't think they're saying go and volunteer, go and cancel people. I think they're saying work with people, understand the South African context from,
Application.
yes,
Yeah.
so that is very important. As much as I'm saying academic excellence, it's also important to be involved in other things.
Mm,
It for me doesn't really matter what it looks like,
mm, mm,
so that being exposed to people, working with people, giving back to communities, if that is what it looks like for you, do that.
mm,
Do
mm, mm,
something. Yes,
mm,
because I think the focus is on that. How much have you been exposed to people in
mm,
South Africa? Yes.
mm,
That is the second thing. The third thing now this is within you as a person. Self-awareness, Dr. Zebe,
mm,
self-awareness becomes very, very important because I feel it informs how you show up.
mm,
When you're self-aware, it informs how you speak. It informs how you even understand what is being asked of you. It informs how you answer
mm,
what you said something to me that has stuck with me. I think it was you who said, when you are doing these things, when you are participating, when you are applying, try and find out what they are trying to get out of you. Try and
mm,
listen to what they didn't say. And I feel
mm,
that comes with a lot of awareness. If you are
mm.
listening to a question and you're like, okay, maybe they're
Yes.
trying to see.
Yeah. Don't look at the sort of the, yeah. Look at the underlying message of the question.
Yes, that
Yes.
I think that's how you phrased it. And I
Yeah.
think that comes with a lot of awareness, because you won't be able to see the underlying objective.
Mm,
And if you are not aware, even if you are, you will probably won't be able to address it
mm.
because it was not asked like on surface level,
You are
that's how I
right.
understand it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you
So
won't even be able to answer the follow-up because we are not
exactly.
preempting what will follow up to it.
Exactly. I think in today's language, they will say you don't have depth. Like when we have conversation
Yes.
with you, there's no depth. So
Exactly.
the self-awareness comes with that, and I feel it plays a huge role in how
Mm,
someone shows up. I found, Dr. T, that there's a lot of disconnect. Our applications, the paper application can be so perfect. And I'm going to say this because I know someone who is a dear friend of mine, and
mm,
her story breaks my heart.
mm,
She gets selected, Dr. T. I hope she doesn't mind me talking about her story.
mm,
She gets selected, and that I believe is because her application is well polished. Her autobiography is compelling,
mm,
but she doesn't make it through the selection. And I
mm,
sat back and I reflected on that, and I asked myself, what could be the problem? As much as I don't know what the questions that were asked were or what the activities were, I came down to the importance of how you show up, because
mm,
what they saw on the paper they liked, but what they saw when they met you they didn't like. Do you understand? So when I sat back and I said, where could the disconnect be?
mm,
And I realized how we show up is very important. And for me, how I show up was informed by my self-awareness, my confidence, my personal insight. Those
mm,
three things were very essential to how I showed up to the selection. So I think when I say self-awareness, I am using it as an umbrella term
mm.
for
How you
that.
present yourself,
How you
basically, during
present
this.
yourself is,
Mm,
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree. So you have three, and I totally agree with you that, look, I mean, and I've said it in various times that the minute you get to the selection, the marks you put them aside, it's about you.
Yes.
So don't hold on too much to being golden key. Now, when you get the golden keys on the side,
Doesn't
it is
matter.
you as a person. How are you going to show up and deliver? You know?
Yeah.
And I like the part about also the work experience, but I think the way you put it, and I think that's the way I understand it as well. It's not about what you did per se, whether you sold ice cream or you worked at the psychology related context, but it's about what's the skills that you have developed in working with people and
From
how is it
that.
applicable to
Yes.
psychology? What have you learned? How
Yes.
have it developed you? And I think that's the gist of it that people need to know about psychology. Psychology has got a lot of application of knowledge,
Yeah.
and obviously, academic excellence become one of the key things. So, yeah, these I think are very important, and definitely, I mean, people need to apply them. And you are right, they can't take us to the selection room. They're on their own when you get there. But there are also first year student undergraduate who are aspiring to become psychologists. I think I might have seen one or two comments. If people are watching that are still an undergrad, please you must comment. We need to hear about you. What are your challenges? Maybe we don't cover you. We are busy covering people who are graduates. So if you are undergraduate, and I think you do a lot of content actually that focus also on undergraduate, because I think when I watch, I mean, you cover both,
Yeah.
you know. So any words of encouragement for them? Because some of them, I think they will start preparing after at honors level. Yeah, just a word of encouragement because I believe you don't start preparing at honors.
No.
But I don't want to put words. Maybe you've got something that you want to talk about. Any words of encouragement for undergraduates aspiring to become psychologists?
In undergraduate, it's mostly about marks. So
Yeah,
academic excellence again. And secondly, I tend to use my own story, Dr. T, to speak on anything that I want to speak about. I tend to use myself as reference.
yeah,
Um, the personal work that is needed. Psychology requires you to be a certain way.
mm,
You can't be ordinary. And for the lack of a better word, there is a certain way that we are required to be in order for us to actually get into honors into M1. There is a certain way. And this is something that I personally discovered. And I spoke about it. I said, when I realized that there is a certain way that I needed to become, I started intentionally working to become that person. Although it was very limited information, but I got that idea, Dr. T, that I need to work on my anxiety. I need to work on my impatience. I need to, there's still a lot of things that trigger me. I need to work
mm,
on them. I just don't have a word to describe this, but it's that personal work that I would want someone to start working on, specific,
mm,
even from first year of undergraduate, if they know they want to become a psychologist. I mean, I strongly believe that our experiences make us who we are, but
mm,
that is not always negative. That is not always positive. So those experiences that had a negative impact are the ones that I want everyone to start working on. Dr. T, even when you are applying the application forms that require an autobiography, they write there on the top, they say, what are some of the significant experiences that you believe have made you the person that you are? Or have
mm,
inspired you to want to become a psychologist, that
mm,
I want them to have in their heads, because that will then now allow you to reflect and say, oh, I actually went through this. How have I rationalized it? How have I made sense of it? Does it still affect me to this day? Because it's very important to remember that you're going to be dealing with people that have went through the same things that you have went through. So how you have made sense of yours becomes very important. And this is work
mm,
that can even be done from grade 12. From the moment someone knows they want to become a psychologist, then that personal work starts to become very important. But you can't work on yourself when you're not aware what needs to be worked on. So
Mm,
that self-awareness, that's when it starts. For me, those are the two things, academics and the personal work. There is a lot of
mm.
work that we have to go through in order for us to align ourselves with the person that we want to become in order for us to become the professionals that we want to be.
Awesome. I can't
Yes.
close without this one. I need to ask this one.
Okay.
You had what? Seven, how many rejection? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Jesus. With eight rejections, now you are selected. First
Yes.
time applicants.
Yes.
Others are rejected this year. And then there's also a phenomenon. You get others who were invited for selection last year, this year, no invite.
Yes.
What words of encouragement can you give them? Because I think this journey is really, other people, they say can break you.
It does break
Uh,
you. It's not
Others,
even
they
the
have
same.
gave up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
please, words of encouragement.
it's possible,
Mm,
Dr. T. It's possible. And not having made it does not mean one is not good enough.
mm,
It could mean different things. It could mean it's not time yet for you. It could
mm,
mean there's still some work that we need you to go and work. It's just and work on. It's just that we can't tell you, so we need you to figure it out.
mm,
It could mean it's not personal.
mm,
But the biggest part of it is that it's possible. And I believe that if you want it so much, you
mm,
can get it. You
mm,
just need to figure out a way to stay the course. You need to
mm,
figure out a way to alignment is very important, Dr. T. It's very important
mm,
to work intentionally to towards what you want. And
mm,
and I feel that I don't have room to give up and I
mm,
want to impose. If you want it so much, then there shouldn't be room for giving up. I know it's terrible. It can
mm,
break us, but it's important also to utilize this the support that we have around us until we actually get to where we want to be. But we also carry the responsibility to align ourselves. There is
mm,
that's the reason why I spoke about becoming, why I spoke about working on yourself to become that person that you think they will possibly select next year. You carry that responsibility. It's not about the academics only, it's about me becoming. So it's possible, Dr. T, it's possible. And if you want it so much, definitely it can happen for you. You just need to play your part. Be easy on yourself, take it easy, and be kind. Be kind. The fact that you are rejected and these people have never met you before should mean that they have nothing against you. So it
mm,
does not reflect on who you are. It just says, just not yet. We
mm.
feel probably that maybe you're not ready yet this year. So try again next year. But at the end of the day, it is possible. I am here. I'm a living testimony. And if it could happen for me, it can happen for you too.
Wow, wow. Actually, I wanted to ask you, you've answered the question whether was there a room in your mind where you were sort of, if I get rejected for 2 years, I'm stopping. But already you have answered it that there was no room for giving up. If you believe it's yours, I actually did a video, I think, about people what to do when you are rejected. I think I was too hard though, but it was the reality of
Yeah.
what I think is the reality of it. Because if you believe it's yours, you need to go for it. It doesn't matter
Yes.
whether you get the crawling, bleeding, crawling
Yes.
after 10 rejection, whatever. You need to believe it.
There
And
was
nobody's gonna believe on your behalf.
no, there
So
was no
Nshaba, thank you
room.
so much. Yes, please continue. There's something I disturbed you.
No, I was saying there was no room. You know what my plan was? My plan was
Yeah,
that if I have to go work at a fast food restaurant while I wait, I'm going to
yeah.
do that. But there was
Wow.
no room for giving up. So I think people should do that.
Nshabo Mukwebo,
Yes,
why
Dr.
do I
T.
always see this Maluleka thing? It always distracts me. I don't know. I think I've got a wrong surname.
It's my maiden surname. I don't know where you got it from, but yeah, it is my
Ah,
surname. It's my father's surname.
the Maduleka one.
Yes,
Me, I know Mukwebo.
that's my husband's surname.
Because your laptop says Maduleka, but your email you've got Mukwebo.
Oh, yes. I logged in with my UNISA credentials for undergraduate.
Ah,
Yes, I
you're
was not
from
married.
UNISA.
Yes.
Guys, UNISA. UNISA. First selection from UNISA, people. Hi, guys. Guys, please stop talking
Yes.
bad about UNISA.
They talk bad about UNISA? Maybe we
Shavo is
must have
from
a
people.
video.
People used to think that me and UNISA. Guys, you can see UNISA produce first time
Yes.
candidate to apply for the first time from UNISA. This one needs to
Yes.
be an advert.
Mm,
Wow, UNISA. First
yep.
time applicant selected from UNISA program. Aye, suga wena.
Okay, Dr. T.
Okay, let me go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
No,
We'll keep
thank you
in
so much
touch.
for having me. Thank you so much for having me.